In this video, we're going to be taking a look on pages Excel 68 and 69, in which we're going to be checking the spelling. Now, Excel includes a spell checker to help you ensure that the words in your worksheet are spelled correctly. Now, the spell checker scans your worksheet, displays words that it doesn't find in its built-in dictionary, and suggests replacements when they are available. Now, to check all of the sheets in a multiple sheet workbook, you need to display each sheet individually and run the spell checker for each one. So you can't do it for the entire workbook just by one click. You have to do it for each sheet individually. Now, because the built-in dictionary cannot possibly include all the words that anyone needs, you can add words to the dictionary, such as your company name, an acronym, or an unusual technical term. Now, of course, once you add a word or term, the spell checker no longer considers that word misspelled. Now, any words you've added to the dictionary using Word, Access, or PowerPoint are also available in Excel. So let's take a look at step 1 on page Excel 68, and that's when it tells us that we want to click on the Review tab, and that's going to change our ribbon here. And then it tells us that we want to click on the Spelling button here in the Proofing group. And of course, when we click on that, the Spelling English US dialog box opens up. And of course, we notice that the first thing that it shows us on here is ASD, and that's selected as the first misspelled word in the worksheet. And with add selected in the suggestions list as a possible replacement. Now, for any word, you have the option to ignore this case of the flagged word, ignore all cases of the flagged word, change the word to the selected suggestion, change all instances of the flagged word to the selected suggestion, or add the flagged word to the dictionary using the Add to Dictionary. Now, of course, a quick tip, the spelling dialog box lists the name of the language currently being used in its title bar, so we can see that this is English, United States. Of course, you can change this if it's for a different language that you're using. And in this case, we did misspell ads on there, so we want to click on the Change button. We just want to change, not change all. We want to click on Change. And of course, when we click on the Change button, it will make that change for us there. And the spell checker will actually go to our next word, which is podcast, that's on there. And of course, we notice that we misspelled podcast. It's poda. I'm not really for sure how to pronounce that because the vowel's in the incorrect place. And of course, once we see that is incorrect, we want to click on Change there, and we're going to change this word to the word podcast. Now, of course, if you want to make any other changes in the suggestions, you need to click on the correct spelling that you would like to have. Now, the PODACST to podcast on there, we notice that no more incorrect words are found, and Excel gives us our little message here that tells us that we're good to go, that the spelling check is complete. Once that's happened, we can go ahead and click on OK, and we know that our our spreadsheet here is ready to go. Next, what we can do is we can go ahead and click back on our Home tab, and we're going to find and select some information. So on our Home tab, we're going to go over here to our Editing group, which is on the far right hand side, and we're going to click on the binoculars, which is Find and Select. Once we click on that, of course, notice we have Find, Replace, Go To, and there's some different things that's on there as well. But we're going to click on the Replace option that's on there. And of course, the Find and Replace dialog box then opens up, and you can use this dialog box to replace a word or a phrase. Now, it might be a misspelling of a proper name, and that the spell checker didn't recognize as misspelled, or it could simply be a term that you want to change throughout the worksheet. Now, in this case, we want to change every time there's the word billboard, and we want to change this to sign. Now, to do this, we need to go to step 6, where it tells us that we want to type billboard in the Find What. Now, make sure that you capitalize the B, so it's billboard in the Find What, and then we want to press our Tab key, and then we want to replace it with sign. Of course, make sure that your dialog box does appear to be like this. Once it has this, we want to go and we want to click on Replace All. And of course, when we click on that Replace All, it tells us how many replacements we made, which in this case, Excel has made 2 replacements. Then we want to click on OK. Once we have that, we can go ahead and then close our dialog box here, and that will close the Find and Replace dialog box. Next, on step 8, it tells us that we want to go up to our File tab here, and we want to click on Print. Now, we're not going to print this document, but we are going to take a look that we see that right now it shows us that we have 3 pages. So if we would print this out right now, we would have 3 pages. So we need to make some changes to this. So the first thing it tells us that we want to do is that we want to click the No Scaling setting in the Settings section on the Print tab that's on there. So if we take a look on here, here's where it says No Scaling. We want to click on this, and of course we now notice that there's some options that appear there. And the option that you want to choose if you did want to print this, actually I would do this before even closing this back out to the regular document before you for the regular workbook before you submit this, is that I would click on the Fit Sheet to One Page. Because when you click on that, what it's going to do is it's going to make this all fit on one page. Because notice earlier we had 1 of 3. And if we would print that out, it would be on 3 pages. And we would just have 1 line on one page. We'd have 1 column on another page, and it would just look very poor if we would do that, kind of like we didn't know what we were doing. However, if we would go to that option right there and make it to fit sheet on one page, then that is where we would want to make that so that when we would print this off, it would actually fit in on one page. So you want to make sure that you do that. Once we have that, we want to click on this button here, and that's the Return button, and that's going to take us back to our spreadsheet. And of course you'll notice here that now only 1 sheet is highlighted in white, and that means that that would mean only 1 sheet would print. That's on there. Make sure that you now save your work. That's there, and of course you're going to upload this to Core Sites for the Excel 2013 Unit C walkthrough. Now, of course, you can mail a workbook as well. We're not going to do this for this workbook, but if you did want to, you could send the entire workbook from within Excel using your installed email program, such as Microsoft Outlook. Now, if you do want to send a workbook as an email message attachment, you would open the workbook, click on the File tab, and I'll show you how to do that, which this will not work on your computer since you don't have Outlook set up. But you would click on the File tab on there, and then we would go down to the Share button here and click on it. And then of course we could actually choose Email, and then of course we could choose the different options that's on here in the Backstage view, and we can actually choose to send this as an attachment. And of course once this happens, it's going to take a few moments that's on there, and an email message will actually open up in your default email program with the workbook that you're working on automatically attached. And of course the file name will appear in the attached field, and of course all you have to do then is to complete the 2 and optional carbon copy fields, and you can include a message if you wish, and then you can click on Send. And of course here we go. All you would have to do is fill out your 2, carbon copy, and you can actually type in whatever message you needed to, and you can send this message, and that would actually attach your worksheet to that. Now of course you do have to have Microsoft Outlook installed or some other type of email program installed to do that, and that would automatically do that for you. So once again, just double check your spreadsheet, make sure that it does fit on one page and that it does look like this. Once it does look like this, or you can look at the example on page Excel 69, you're ready to upload this to Core Sites and you're ready to move on to the assignments.